Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And it is Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday morning. It's April 3rd. It's really the calm before the storm, to use a good cliche. The rains are going to be coming. I'm Joe Callahan. Tim Draper's here. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joe.
And Melissa Smith has made it back after her week off.
Not really. I was working.
I mean,
it just
week
was,
of not being here.
right. Week
go.
from you. Yes.
Yes.
Week off from you all.
Are you all relaxed now and everything good?
I don't think she was relaxed
No.
last Wednesday.
No, all right.
I think she'd
Oh,
rather
gosh,
have been
I
here.
feel like I need to. I hate the fact that we're on camera. By the way,
Sorry
it's like
about
the
that.
worst way to
This
start
is
the
the
morning.
best seat because you don't see any of that
Yeah,
stuff,
that's right.
which is great.
I
John
know.
Ward is here, too. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, everybody. Isn't it terrible how microphones and cameras limit your vocabulary
Yes,
and your
sorry about
expression
that.
of emotion?
She is now officially red if you don't have the color correction on your camera.
All right. So, John, first question goes to
No.
you.
Hamlet Avenue.
You said you're going to check on it? You
I
sent me a
did.
text after
I did.
Coffee
I-
In on
I-
Monday. They're not here. I saw that.
I drove it every day. They're working in another part of the city on projects of their own.
Okay.
But
when that's
at-
done,
because it's a requested project, when they fit it into their schedule, they will be working on it again.
so
I
it
can't
may
tell,
be April.
Nobody can tell you what
It may
days.
not be April.
That's up to
Them.
Rhode Island Energy,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
I'm sure when I spoke with the director, he was hopeful that they will get to it because it's a pretty rough road, and something will have to be done.
Where are they else in the city?
Just doing gas lines in various areas.
You have a
they're
street?
Still doing some in Fairmount. Not street?
Oh,
No, I
okay.
have no idea.
Okay.
They're in various locations. They have to. I'm not sure when they're going to start contracting for the paving, but they've got paving to do up on Vernon, on the northerly side of the Vernon Heights, and they've got paving to do at the north end and Fairmount. They've dug up and replaced lines, and they now have patched that were patched last year, and they need to be paved over for the streets this year.
I don't think the asphalt plants are open yet, are they?
They're probably not,
Yeah.
but they're close to
Too
it.
cold,
I'm sure.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll probably see them hitting the streets sometime in June.
I've seen Verizon out there doing whatever they were doing.
Well, they
and the
usually-
police were there, too.
They're usually working on.
They're
overhead.
Up. They're usually up,
Up.
but sometimes they're
Sometimes they're underground.
on the ground. Yeah. All right. The second question of the day goes to Tim because we got a message in
Oh, boy.
for you.
Fire away.
So it says to Tim.
Who did you vote in the
please-
presidential primary? No.
No, it just says, please help. A simple question.
Oh.
Having trouble contacting a representative from Navigant Credit Union from the Woonsocket office. They call the 233-4700
Yeah.
number, which leads to
The contact
nowhere.
center.
Always gets a recording. The president's system is not working. Isn't there a direct line to a rep via an extension at Park Square?
Yes.
You got a direct number?
Yeah, I do. I'll have to look it up for you.
Okay.
Because it'll be on my phone. But the answer to the question is we had that debate years ago about answering services, recorded messages versus live pickup. It's just the reality is as you get bigger and the volume of they
Of
take
calls.
like almost 1,000 calls a day. So you just physically can't answer all those calls as they come in. So you have to queue them up a little bit. But the people are only on hold. I think the average wait time is less than 30 seconds. So, and it depends on the day. I mean, it could vary for sure. But yeah, we do queue you up when you call to the contact center. But it is in Smithfield. It's not overseas or anything like that. You're going to get somebody who's going to be able to connect you to Woonsocket. But they will hate me when I do this. But I'll give you a number for Woonsocket if I can find it here.
I always ask the question: Isn't there a dial zero to bail out and get an operator?
I think
kind
there
of
is.
thing?
I think if you just hit 0 at the very beginning, it'll put you
Just
into.
put you into a.
I would have to do that. Yeah, I'll do that on a break.
Somebody's phone will ring.
Right, but again, I
know.
apologize.
Don't tell them
if
that
you're getting
because
stuck
they're gonna
in,
be mad.
I know if you get stuck in the in the queue, it just unfortunately it's just the way that kind of goes.
While you're looking that up, The question for Melissa this morning, please put your coffee down.
She didn't even do a first commercial yet.
Well, that's what I'm going to do now.
Oh,
Can
sorry.
you do,
I was
please do a-
totally okay with skipping past and giving me a little breather, having my coffee. I was actually waiting for Tim to just give his cell phone on the air by accident.
Oh, Gary
it's so
did that
early,
once.
so sometimes
on
you
this
just
station.
spew out a number and say,
He gave
"Oh
his
my
cell
gosh."
number?
Yeah, you don't remember? I
Was it
think
a
it was
Milk
a
Fun?
Milk Fun show,
Yeah.
and they were talking to somebody, and he actually gave his desk number out on the air.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I was in his office, and the phone rang, and he picked it up. He goes, "Hello." He goes, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure that this was actually your number." It was some guy calling from
Testing.
hearing him today to see if he was actually giving the right number out.
Oh.
It was the funniest thing. They had a great conversation.
That is
I
funny.
feel like you've shared that story before,
Yeah,
and it was
I
like
might
he ended
have.
up managing like this very simple banking setup of
Right.
an account. He
yeah,
took care of
that's
the
right.
whole thing.
He did.
Wow.
It was so funny. Just
All right, well, Tim is working on that. Melissa, can we have a first message from the St. Antoine communities?
Absolutely. So those of you that sit with me every week, notice I normally have my script with me to stay on point because this is a very distracting group.
So
in
today
this
she'll
panel.
read the ingredients.
I know.
her
Today I'll
yogurt.
read the ingredients on my Chobani yogurt, 0 sugar. I will not torture you with that. It was intentional. We have a lot going on right now, and I thought, the audience out there that listens every week, they know what we do. They understand the services we provide, the continuum of care that y'all make fun of me of for saying every week in my speech. You get it, and I know that, so I thought I'd just skip ahead and in my first message just really talk again about the new unit we're about to open because that is consuming my entire world right now. We're excited about it. We had a wonderful article featured in the Valley Breeze last week. It's created quite a bit of buzz, which is exactly what we anticipated. We're addressing a growing need, an unfortunate need in our community, which is for memory care assisted living and the need to provide that middle ground, heavy skilled level, more of that independent level of care, but with the cognitive programming that your loved one may need in a secured environment. So yeah, we're gearing up. We're consistently saying now June. It's been a moving target for the last couple of months, but furniture's ordered. Everything appears to be arriving on time mid-May, and I think we'll be ready to go for June. And I have a generous waiting list. So if you are interested in learning more about Primrose Lane, which is going to be our new memory care assisted living unit at St. Antoine Community, feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to kind of talk you through your options because that might not be the right fit right now, but you may want to just learn about it, get on the list, and when the time is right, say yes. So 401-767-3500. Thank you.
All right, Melissa, thanks. Tim, any luck over there?
I'm still working on it. It's
So we're gonna,
even
okay.
even it's complicated for us.
Now you should just give your
Well,
cell
now
phone.
I'm trying to do it on a cell phone, and it doesn't. It's much easier on a desktop computer.
All right, well, keep working on that.
I'll keep working on it.
All right, other things going on. Sad news yesterday about Larry Lucchino from the Red Sox passing away. It couldn't have come at a worse time because it was opening day for the Worcester Red Sox, of which he was the chairman, and they all got the news at about 7:30 in the morning, and then they had to quickly put together like a small tribute to him because the game was at 3 in the afternoon yesterday, and the pregame stuff all started at 2:30. So now they feel bad. They're not emotionally ready, but start working, and you've got a short amount of time to put something good together.
Together.
And they did. And it was nice. It was nice what they did yesterday. But if those of you who don't know about Larry, he went through 4 battles of cancer. He said the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute saved his life 4 times.
Yeah.
And he was on the chairman. He was on the board of directors up there. But cancer it takes a lot out of you, and it just it wears your body down. And eventually he didn't die of cancer. He died of congestive heart failure. Is what he actually died of. John has found something on his
Yeah,
phone.
I think that's probably the one. What is it? What's the first one?
The non-navigant
233.
employee
Yes.
quickly did a Google search.
233-3120. Yeah.
No, one-
233-3120.
Sorry, Larry. We're interrupting your
3120.
Yeah, that's
tribute.
right about that. I looked it up on Teams, which is not an easy thing to do. John went to the Google. It's in the Google.
So the Park Square branch
Yep.
has a Smithfield.
number.
It
A
does
number.
because everything is routed
Everything is
through the
through
Smithfield.
Smithfield.
Okay.
Everything is routed through Smithfield, so it's a 233 number. But it is the branch. It's the direct branch line. So.
That's it. Navigant used to have their box at the McCoy Stadium, and you've been up to Polo Park a
Yeah,
couple
we
times.
have some
Ever
seats at Polo
run
Park.
into Larry Lucchino? Would he come visit and
A
say
few
hi?
times.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ever
I-
talk with
so
him?
Mike Tamboro, who was the previous president of the Paw Sox when they were here, and Mike Gwynn still have their seats up there.
Yeah.
And every time we go up, every time I'm fortunate enough when I get tickets to go up and see them, they'll come over and say hi. And if Larry's there, he'll usually say hi as well. I didn't see him that often, but a couple times over the years. Always seemed like a nice man. You really forget what we were mad at him when he stole the paw socks from us and brought them to Worcester, but that really wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And you know, when you think about the body of work that guy did for baseball, it was actually pretty amazing. I forgot he developed Camden Yards, and then
In the Petco Field.
in the Petco Field, right?
in
And then
San
came
Diego.
here and came to the Red Sox and was part of the 3 championships that, and he kind of brought him here. He was the president of the team at the time. So, you know, kudos to him. Thanks for everything he did for the Boston Red Sox and for the Pawtucket Red Sox when they were in Pawtucket. And certainly the folks in Worcester should be happy that they had their interactions with Larry as well, because that area is beautiful and it is just continuing to develop. So.
It's so big that the commissioner of Major League Baseball put out a statement
Really?
yesterday. You know, condolences to the family and
Right.
all the great things Larry did for on the Major League level.
Right.
It was just outstanding, and how his legacy will live on for quite a while.
Now, if John Henry just sells the Boston Red Sox to somebody who really cares, that'll be great. Oh, did I say that out loud? Did I say that on the air?
That was out loud there,
I can't believe I
Tim.
said that. That was
Why
my
are they
inside voice.
affiliated?
But Larry always had his. He did it at Camden Yards, and he did it at Petco Field, and he did it in Worcester, where he would build the park, and then he would build just enough parking for the players and some of the front office staff.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, what about the fans? What about the 60,000 people that had come? They're on their own."
Yeah.
Not that they're on their own. He goes, "I'll let the free market establish this,"
Well,
and he
that's-
was
that's
absolutely
the
right.
price. Yeah.
It happened in Worcester that people just pop up, and
Right.
now they sell.
I have all this extra land. I'm gonna
don't have to
create
pay-
parking, charge $10 a game or
Yeah,
$15
and
a
he,
game.
he lets individual people do that.
Right.
Say you guys make money off the cars,
Right.
and it's worked at every single place. I'm like, boy,
Smart guy.
smart. So-
Right.
I don't think
that's
I've parked in
unbelievable.
a bad spot for a Woo Sox game. I mean, everything is pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Everything is
Not
walkable.
far.
Plenty of restaurants and breweries and bars all in the vicinity.
Yep.
It's a great
It's just one thing
weekend
that
activity.
that irks the former McCoy Stadium people that could park for free.
Oh,
and if you're
right,
gonna go to a
right,
game,
right.
depending on if you're gonna go to a game in Worcester, the closer you are to the park, the more you're gonna pay. So I've seen 20,
But-
I've seen 15, and I've seen 10 and 5.
Right. But even the
Well,
Paw
depends where
Sox
you want.
were not. There was a limited parking in that lot. I mean, those 2 lots
Yeah.
on either side. So it wasn't like there was tons of free parking. You
No.
still ended up at Pelagi's paying $5 or whatever.
But not 20.
Not 20. That is true. Not 20.
Not like going to Boston.
Well, and it's not
They go $50
$60
to park
at
there.
Boston.
Yeah, 50 or 60.
All
That's
right.
why, maybe that's why the Nationals area isn't happy, because you can take the metro
Right.
Okay, right to the
National
stadium.
Yeah. The
right
stadium's
to the stadium.
beautiful though, right on the
Stadium's
shipyard.
ready to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a T stop.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
oh, yeah.
get out and
you
you're
come
up
out, you
and
get out of
there's
the
the
train,
stadium.
you come up above, and
You're
you're,
right
not
there.
only at the stadium, you're at the top level of the stadium, so you're actually looking down into the field as you
Yeah.
enter the place.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah,
you're
we saw a
coming
game there
in.
last
You're
summer.
coming
It
in
was
around
fabulous.
right center field, I think it is.
Yep. You walk right in,
And you walk right in, and you're above all the seating.
Mm-hmm.
They put you right in at the bar area along the top.
Yeah,
and
well,
then
there's
you
that.
it's perfect. And then you just literally
what you
go
need.
grab what you need, go down, or you go around to the stadium. So home plate is actually far.
Yeah.
It's not like Fenway where you come in behind home plate, right?
Well, most of it's
Yeah, most where, yeah.
from first to third and around
Right.
the back.
Well, somebody
Right.
was smart for marketing purposes, but great photo ops, like great angle perch,
Right, come right
perch
in,
over
bang,
the
there's
top,
your
right?
picture.
That's, I think, the point was for the impact.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like Fenway when
Like, oh,
you go into Fenway Park, you can't go in where you're looking down on the field. You're coming up, from
up the
underneath,
ramp,
Right.
and then you get that green
Right there.
that
That's
Yeah.
hits
what
you. And every kid, their first impression of
exciting.
Fenway is
Oh, it's
that.
like, wow.
Right.
And it is
Okay.
really, really memorable.
Right, come
You
right out the
up
chute,
from
True.
underneath
there
and-
it is.
And there's the green in
Mud.
front of you, and
Yep.
everything is all of a sudden goes from concrete, dirty,
brick. Yep.
don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
what's been there
to
before,
grass.
to green.
Yeah.
It's like
And it's the same thing with the Nationals. You walk out of the train station, you walk towards the park, you go through the entrance, and then you come to the top, and you've got this beautiful baseball field in front of you. The whole
it's
thing.
like the Emerald City.
See, that's what bothers me about the movie Field of Dreams. And I think when I went to go see it, they're like, "What are you talking about?" and there's a scene where Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones are supposed to be walking into Fenway Park, but the way they're walking, I said, no, that's the way out. I think you're walking the wrong way. But it's the
Camera
movie,
angle,
so
it's the movie.
okay, fine.
Up the down staircase, right?
Yeah, something like that. All right, Melissa, time for a second message from the St. Antoine community, and then we'll move things along.
I just
Look at her.
I
panicked.
know.
We'll stall.
I just
Pure-
panicked.
We'll stall.
I did because I meant to look this up before.
Tim, what's that phone number again?
223-3120.
I'll say two things. So I mentioned a little earlier, there's just a lot going on, right? We have the new unit being developed, and then of course we're hitting the ground running with 2024 community events, and you always hear me talk about all the things that we love to do on our property and out in the area surrounding us, whether it's supporting other nonprofits or doing fundraisers of our own. So we just concluded 401 Gives. I mentioned that on the air over the last couple of weeks. The United Way of Rhode Island initiative to really launch some awareness of what's going on with nonprofits in Rhode Island. So I just want to do a quick shout out to everybody who supported us. We greatly appreciate your donations and your generosity and support as always. And then also wanted to announce, but I don't have the date in front of me because I thought I had a second to look it up. We have the Longest Day is going to be coming up, and last year I talked a lot about that on the air, and it was a huge successful event. And we're repeating it this year, and what it is essentially it's bringing awareness to the Longest Day to support the Alzheimer's Association, specifically the Rhode Island chapter for us. So last year we sold purple pinwheels, $5 a piece, and we welcomed folks to write messages on them. And then we painstakingly assembled all of them. But we raised about $1,000, which was fantastic. I roped my girls into it. It was great community service hours for our National Honor Society. I can get calls for that as well. So if you have kids that need to do some volunteer work, I will have lots of purple pinwheels to assemble. But yeah, so I will share the date on the air with you next week when I have a little bit.
21st of June?
I believe it is the 21st. I almost said the 24th, but
Hey, Siri, when's the longest?
I think it is the 21st. I think it's a Friday this year, where last year was on a Wednesday. But anyways, more information to come, and we do plan to do it again. Same scope of details and excitement surrounding it. We'll have a big day celebration on campus and invite family and friends. And I believe this year we're gonna have live music and food trucks, etc. So we're gonna do a little bit, take it up a notch from last year. But stay tuned. I'll have more information to share.
All right, Melissa, thanks.
June 20 or June 21? It's one of the
I
other.
think it's June 21.
All right, and the Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON, AM, and FM.
Coffee and on ON, thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan, hello, John Ward, and Melissa Smith, and Tim Draper. We had an election yesterday. Us, Connecticut, New York State. I think there's someone else in there as well. I think there were 4
Wisconsin.
yesterday. Yeah, and was it Wisconsin? Okay. And Biden and Trump win in all 4 states.
No.
It was a real stop the presses moment.
Actually, they didn't.
Didn't what?
They won the raw number, but they lost in credibility because there were a lot of people that voted non-committal for the Democrat race.
Yeah.
And Nikki Haley
Picked up 10%.
I heard
Rhode
that.
Island.
got 10% in Rhode Island, 13% in Wisconsin. And
Wow.
was still doing well even though the race was over. So
Yeah.
it's sort of a slap at Trump.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be interesting is the Kennedy factor.
Keep your eye on Robert Kennedy.
I've been seeing signs pop
Keep an
up
eye.
everywhere.
Don't laugh him off.
I know. I can't listen
It's
to him. He's got that
possible.
gravelly voice that tries to.
He always sounds sick.
He does.
It's because there was a reason for that.
Yeah, I
There was
think
some
he's got-
medical situation
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he incurred that
It's hard to listen though.
it's permanent. He
Is it?
can't-
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's not going to go away. The real tricky question now is what kind of impact he'll have, combined with who is Trump going to pick for a VP.
No, I know. And he hasn't leaned. Has he even given a date of when he said he'll have an announcement on that? Not that I've heard.
Not that I've heard
No.
either.
Okay.
But it really, because the argument is when we next vote for a president in November, we're going to actually be voting based upon who the vice presidential choices are. So it's going to be Kamala Harris versus
Whoever.
Well, the woman
whatever
from
that woman
Kennedy.
name is.
Yeah.
Well, no, not so much Kennedy, because Kennedy is at a survivable age. But
Oh, that's true.
Harris versus whoever Trump picks.
People
as a choice.
People say, "Oh, yeah, Nicole Shanahan is her name."
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And people say, "Oh, we can't have her. She's too young." And people have come back and said, she's 38, by the way. But some people you were willing to vote for Vivek Ramaswamy.
Right.
He's 38.
Right.
So what's the difference?
Yeah.
With the same lack of qualifications as her.
Right.
So
Right.
what's the difference?
How old was Pete Buttigieg when he am I saying
12.
it right? Buttigieg. He looks so young, but
looks that
how
young.
old was he? Was he 40?
He's only 14 now, right? I mean, his Twitter handle.
Easy
Okay.
there. Easy
His
there.
Twitter
Swing
handle
the
is
camera over to this direction. I'm just saying. This is
his Twitter handle is @Secretary Pete.
Well, that's
at least it's not
sweet.
Petey.
Well, that's true. That would be a dog with a black eye.
Melissa can't remember that. This Little Rascals.
I remember
reference?
that.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Thank you. That's why I threw
That was
Petey
the
out there.
That was the inspiration for the Target dog.
Was it?
I don't know. I guess it
He had a bullseye, didn't he?
sounds good though,
Probably
doesn't it?
was. We should have a conversation about Target on the air at some point. Not now, because I think you have a list of things you'd
An
like to
agenda.
cover. But if you ever hit a low point, I have
Joe.
a lot of opinions on Target these
Uh-oh.
days.
It doesn't look like they
Pete,
sound good.
No.
Pete
Has
Buttigieg-
anyone been in
might
Target
be,
lately?
I might be on Melissa's side on this one.
Pete Buttigieg is 42 now.
Right. So at the
do-
time he
do the
was
ma-
running,
do the math.
I think he was 37, 38
Okay, there you go.
for president when he was running for president.
When he got into the primary race, yeah.
The issue I have with Target right now is.
Oh,
the-
we are gonna do
well,
it.
it's-
Okay.
'cause
Going in there.
It just came to mind for me on a personal note. There's a real lack of shoes for men.
Oh. It's not the direction I thought we
Well,
were
that-
going
That's a
in.
good one because he's right.
But there's just not a lot. You
Wow.
get this shelf.
Yeah.
Everything else is kids or it's women's shoes. And I understand there's going to be more women's shoes. I go, what? But my choices are that pair, or that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, see you later.
See ya.
What's your complaint
You
against
just need to
Target?
start
Very
wearing
different than
women's
yours.
shoes.
There we go. I can't
Start
handle the
practicing
heels.
wearing heels.
I don't know. So my thing is, my biggest issue lately is I go back in my head and I reference it to when I had little kids and babies or whatever. That was like my go-to for everything. It was
Okay.
always organized, always clean, good deals. Like it was a good competitor to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I go into it now, at least the Lincoln store, and I don't know about anybody else. If you've been to the Lincoln store lately, it's a dump. Like every time I'm in there,
It's
I
a
feel
mess.
like they are just empty
I-
shelves,
my wife
stocking
orders
in the middle of
online,
the aisle.
picks it up outside the store. We don't even step foot in the store anymore.
And I just
Like-
and it's hard to find any sizes, anything. But also they
Like
have
Betty
the self
Davis?
checkout
What a
area.
dump.
Dump.
They have a self checkout area that every time I'm there for some reason, because I'll go after my chamber meetings on Friday mornings, it's easy for me to swing in there, grab a few things, and keep going up to the St. Antoine property. Literally, you have a self checkout line area. It's always closed, and they have one cashier on, and there's a line
always
of
one.
20
That is true.
people, and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't understand the purpose of self checkout, and I'm not a fan of self checkout, but I'm desperate for it to be open in moments like this.
Yeah.
So something's going on, but I've also been to the Greenville store recently, the one up in Millbury shops recently, our Blackstone shops in Millbury. Sorry. And it's the same issue. The lines are
Yeah.
wrapped all the way up. They only have one, and I get it. Like staffing is a
Issue.
worldwide issue right now, everywhere, every industry. But you have self checkout lines, and you're not even
So
opening
they're
them.
not open.
I know.
Wow.
Like Sebastian Maniscalco's comment on shopping. He,
And
he talks about
they're cards only, no cash.
Oh my
right.
god! But I laugh because so in the Lincoln Mall area, there's a new Jersey Mike's that just opened,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You've got Home Goods, Marshalls, all these stores. They have tons of staff, right? So
Right.
and Jersey Mike's opened. I think there was like 12 people to help me with my
For a
order. I'm
sandwich?
like, back off. I'm like, but maybe some of you should
Go to Target.
pack up and go over to Target for me and help me out over there.
What did I miss? Where's the Jersey Mike's?
next to IHOP.
Chipotle
Or
in that
Chipotle.
little
Oh,
plaza.
Yeah, between Jersey Mike's there.
Chipotle and IHOP and Jersey Mike's?
Yeah,
Mm.
on that side.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Jersey
and
Mike's is
they
fabulous.
do a
They should
sandwich in a
advertise on
bowl,
this
like they do a
station.
bunless
they should.
option,
Yeah.
which is great. It's nice.
What does Sebastian have to say about
Oh,
the self
East
checkout?
corner here too.
Oh, do they?
Angelo's.
He talks about
nice.
self-checkout, and it's how the
Most places in the US, right?
department stores are just giving up. You do it.
You do it.
I
don't
think
wanna hire
it's
anybody anymore.
It
We give up,
feels
you
like
do
it's
it.
the scale of those stores, and I know people make fun of the Kohl's here in town. I love the Kohl's in town.
I like
It's
this Kohl's,
small,
too.
it's quick. You go in for what you need. They do always have sizes that I need. I don't know how
Kohl's
or
in
why.
Smithfield is bigger though, right?
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
too big. I think everything needs to just
And they have a
bring
third
it down.
version because when my wife and I go down to Virginia, up in Ashburn,
There's a third version of Kohl's.
there's a bigger one.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she loves going down there because
It's like the deluxe.
I get lost in there. But
You know,
but the thing about the North Smithfield one when the Kohl's first
Mm-hmm.
opened, the first time my wife and I went in there, the impression we got was,
Yeah.
what are they putting all this stuff in here for? This isn't really what I come shopping for Kohl's. But I'm sure they were doing, they do the zip code check on the cards that are the people in Smithfield, and
Yep.
they see what kind of stuff they're buying because they've got all those records, and their
Yep.
system said that's what's going to sell in North Smithfield. So I'm sure that's what they stocked
It's
there. But it has
definitely-
become better and better. The selections seem better.
It's a return location, and
and
that's
it
what I
is.
think people. And I think Macy's
Amazon
closing. I
return
think you're going to
location.
see Macy's come back with a model like that, where it's just a few things, a little assortment. You're probably right. They're probably monitoring shoppers like me and what I buy and
oh,
stocking
trust
it
me.
just for me, like a puppet.
Retail monitors
Yeah.
everything.
Just like a little puppet, but it's whatever the reasoning is, that small scale is working better, and it's fat. People want to get in and out, whiz in and out, or just do a quick return. But Target's just got to figure whatever
like I
it is.
said,
They got to
Target
figure
might-
it out.
Deb will go in. She will order online and schedule a pickup. Send me the code. I'll pick it up on my way
Well,
home.
that's where all the cashier staff is.
That's
They're
where
all filling orders.
they're all shopping in the
That's
store
true.
for people, and then they're all.
I had occasion to be in Walmart yesterday.
Which one? The one
The
here
one
in
right
town?
here. There was this large contingent of shoppers with Walmart smocks on because they're all out there picking up groceries and supplies and material and
Right.
stuff for other people who are going to drive up to those numbered spots and pick
Yep.
it up.
Yep.
Because, so all of those people theoretically may have been in the past cashiers.
Right. Can we have a conversation about something that spins off of that?
Totally taking over your show, Joe.
I see
I'm
that.
so
You're
sorry.
fine.
This is Coffee and Joe.
I
It's the
know.
panel's discussion.
Keep-
This is what the
$20
people
an
want
hour
to
in
hear about.
California.
No, I wasn't going to talk about that, but we can later because that's another one. But do you think that the when COVID hit and everybody ordered online,
Yeah.
and then the stores realized, well, we don't want to get rid of that because that's a whole nother level of income for us. And I think of breakfast places that I go to. That you used to get service fast, and you used to be able to get in and sit quickly, and now you're waiting forever to sit. Your service is slower. It's because I realized that all these Uber guys coming in and Uber Eats and DoorDash,
DoorDash.
to grab all those food orders that people have placed online to
Yeah, go out.
It's the same number of chefs in the kitchen, and the kitchen's only so big, so they can only produce so much, and they're producing more stuff that's leaving the store than the people who are in the store. And
Yes.
I get frustrated with that. I'm
I went into a
You're right.
when we were, where was I with my son? I was down in, we were in California actually. After we'd gotten out there, we went into a Panera Bread and placed an order.
Yep.
And then we waited, and we saw this bookshelf
Yep.
there, filled
With
orders,
bags, yeah.
with bags, and people coming in and picking up their bags and leaving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coming, and we're waiting for our food.
Right.
Like, we're
the
right in
back-
front of
they're
you.
putting more bags out from the
Yeah.
back, and we're waiting for our food.
Right.
And it's this. I had the same experience. I think I've talked about this before in the Dunkin' Donuts, where I walked in to get a cup of coffee. I stand at the counter, and nobody's coming
Nobody's
No
over.
one's helping you.
They're all doing drive up,
Right.
Yeah.
prepping somebody's sandwich and doing coffee for the drive up.
Yep.
And there's 4 people working drive up, and
Nobody.
nobody's taking
One
care
at
of
the
somebody at
counter.
the counter.
Right. You wonder if that's
Aggravating.
if that's the model is changing on how you deliver fast service like that in those types of places.
There is. I make coffee at home.
Well, there you go. That's it.
True. I actually laugh with your breakfast story because I'm thinking that's all the lazy, hungover people who
Yes.
can't make
Actually,
a
it's not true.
breakfast sandwich.
It's also the people who have very young children who have not slept all night long and they're
Maybe, but
dying
breakfast
to eat
is
something.
the easiest thing to make and to have on a Saturday morning to have your kids
Yeah, we're
home,
talking
no
about
school, whatever,
millennials.
and make some pancakes or something like. But no, to do takeout even for something simple like breakfast, it's crazy.
Never.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Never.
they're timed at the drive-through, and they get admonished if
Yes,
you
I
don't
know.
hit the clock.
I know, there's a clock up there on
but
the
there's
screen.
no clock for someone standing at the counter.
Well,
They should put a clock there.
But there isn't.
here's my problem.
All right.
This is the global problem. You know how we're putting wind farms off the coast, raising our
Yes.
electric rates 15, 20%, because they're going to save the world. And we're putting solar panels on roofs everywhere. We're building solar farms, cutting down trees. And yet, nobody has yet done the study that I'm aware of, but needs to be measured how much fossil fuel is burned waiting in drive-through lines.
Well, we're going to ask Scott Abedisian about that.
Well, fortunately, my truck shuts off as I sit in the. As
Oh,
I
mine
wait
does-
there.
mine does
It's
too,
Automatic
yeah.
shut off, which is Chrysler's way of saving the world. I guess I don't know.
Ford's way, too.
Right.
All right,
it's,
we
not,
got-
it's not the. It is. Yeah. You know what? The Audi folks.
Yeah.
They don't allow you to start your car first. You know, like my truck, I can start it from.
Yeah.
John
You
can
can't
do it in his
pre-start it?
car. You can't pre-start the car. Not the
No?
Audi. Not
You have
the
to be in
not
there
any
and
Audi.
Wow.
Nope. You got to go out there and do
Push
it.
the button.
Right.
Okay. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More is coming your way. It's time for the forecast. Rain is coming. It's brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory in effect today from 4 p.m. until 2 p.m. tomorrow, and a flood watch in effect today from 9:30 this morning. Rain today, near steady temperatures in the upper 30s, easterly winds gusting over 40 miles per hour today, and chance of rain 90%. Tonight, 100% chance of more rain with a chance of sleet after midnight mixing in. Blustery, near steady temperatures in the mid-30s. Easterly winds over 45 miles per hour. Thursday's weather, a 90% chance of rain, cloudy skies, and a possible freezing rain in the morning tomorrow. Then a chance of rain in the afternoon, brisk, cold, near steady temperatures in the upper 30s. Thursday night, mostly cloudy skies with some leftover rain, lows in the lower 30s. Friday, mostly cloudy skies, a 40% chance of more leftover rain showers, high in the mid-40s. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, 50% chance of rain showers, high in the lower 40s. Sunday, mostly sunny, high in the upper 40s. Sunday night and Monday, mostly clear, lows in the lower 30s, highs around 60. Monday night and Tuesday, partly cloudy, lows in the upper 30s, highs in the upper 50s.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have the clouds, no rain just yet, and 42 degrees. Your small business needs you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with their easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
For home-style cooked meals, you'll always be happy you decided to stop into Missy's Family Restaurant. They're open 7 days a week at 7 a.m. Breakfast is served all day. Great food, tasty food, with large portions is what you'll find at Missy's Family Restaurant. From juicy burgers and crispy fries to satisfying pasta dishes and fresh seafood. Bring your loved ones, enjoy a meal that will leave you feeling happy and satisfied. Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street, Woonsocket. Come on down and taste the difference.
It's Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. John Ward is here. Melissa Smith is here. Tim Draper's here. And Tim, it is time for a first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Hey, so we're going to continue along on our security, battle against fraud, because unfortunately it doesn't really go away. And I just want to mention to the audience out there, if you're going into a branch, if if you are falling victim to a scam that you're not aware of, and you go into the branch and you're asking for something that is out of the ordinary from a transaction pattern, and you're asking for significant sums of cash, we're probably going to ask you a lot of questions. And we don't want you to get offended by the fact that we're asking you a lot of questions. We're asking you those questions because we're trying to determine if you are indeed falling as a victim to a scam. Because the bad guys are really good at being bad guys. That's why they're professionals. But we're also really good at spotting these problems and making sure that you don't fall victim to them. Our team literally stops a fraud attempt a week, it seems. We're getting all kinds of updates every week about how we stopped this person from taking $8,000 here, $10,000 there. But we do have the occasional person who is, upset that we would be asking questions like that and ranting and raving and saying it's their money, and it indeed is, and you can have it. We're not trying to prevent you from it, but we just want to make sure that you're doing it for all the right reasons. And so please don't take that out on our teams, our staff, our tellers, our member service reps. They're highly trained to spot these types of things. So if we're asking any questions, understand that we're just trying to make sure that you're not getting scammed. So if you have any questions about whether you think you're getting scammed or not, please give us a call, 233-4700. That's the contact center, not the Park Square office. I'm going to get calls today from Park Square going, what are you doing?
Thanks a lot, Tim.
The other reason we do this is a recorded line, but whatever.
You mean don't call them at 233-3210?
Yeah, don't call them at 2:30. No, please call them.
There's one right here. It says it's from Lowe's. It says, have a moment. You have been chosen to participate in our loyalty program for free.
You should press
and
that
receive
button
this fantastic
right away.
prize.
You should click. You should click
Flex
join.
4 tool combo kit.
So don't do stuff like that, folks.
Delete.
And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call or visit the website.
A scam, I'm
delete it.
assuming it's a scam, that I got an email, and it looked like it was coming from PayPal. That I owed them over $1,000.
Right.
I'm like, I do, huh?
I got one from
Yeah.
the IRS yesterday saying,
Delete.
your past taxes are now due. I'm like,
I don't
I
have
paid
that.
all my taxes on time, on schedule. I'm pretty sure they're not.
I've gotten the PayPal one.
Have
too.
you?
It's like, even though I don't have a PayPal account.
I think I have maybe 10 cents in my PayPal account. I'm
I
like,
don't even have that.
$1,000?
I use it
I
to
don't think
to
so.
pay the bills. Attach my debit card to it. Use it for that.
PayPal is one of those companies I really get irritated with over their hypocrisy because
Yeah.
they stopped doing business in South Carolina at some point because of some transgression of government interfering in people's personal lives about what bathrooms they use, while at the same time they operate a significant presence in Singapore. Now, you can all research what kind of restrictions on your life Singapore imposes, and then wonder how they can live with that hypocrisy.
Talk out both sides of their mouth.
But there's nothing worse than corporate hypocrites.
Okay. So someone explain this one to me because I must have missed something along the way. So Scott Avedisian gets into a bit of a fender bender. He's in his car that's given to him by the RIPTA.
Yep.
And he hits a car in a McDonald's drive-thru, and that car hits the car in front of them, and then he takes off.
Well, he tells everybody to pull over.
Does
and
he?
then yeah.
And then he took
he
off?
flags it like go over there, and then he passes them and leaves.
All
That's the story.
So why is the Attorney General's office so?
'Cause
Why are they
it's
prosecuting this?
Political, I'm sure.
Because
Because it's just a misdemeanor.
he left the scene of an accident. He was driving a state-owned car.
So it becomes a state
And
thing.
there's, well, I don't know.
All right.
It's,
There's a bunch of crimes he's committed doing that, like avoiding. There was the accident
it's like
itself,
failing to offer assistance.
Yeah,
There's some goofy crimes.
right? I've
too.
like never
Yeah.
heard of him before. I feel like they're
So since there's a bunch of charges, it's time for the AG to step in and
Well, I think there's a
bring the hammer down.
He was in an accident where there was a settlement to a lesser charge of some type, or some kind of charge a couple of years ago in 2022. He was involved in a rollover accident
With his state car?
No, I think it was his personal vehicle back then. But he's had issues in the past, and I don't know.
You're a public figure, these things are
there
gonna
may
be
be
public.
questions to be answered.
Was he under the influence? Not for that one, but for this thing at
I
McDonald's.
was going to say, don't underestimate
All right.
imagination.
right.
All right. I just think, wow.
I
It's,
don't know.
I go, there must
yeah.
be something else going
Could
on
there-
if the Attorney General is so interested in this.
the Attorney General knows why.
Well,
Give him a call.
Right.
Right now. Let's call him
Give him a
right
quick-
now.
on the phone. See, get him on the phone.
Avedikian will be formally charged this week in Kent County Superior Court.
But the first one is leaving the scene of an accident.
yeah.
You're just not supposed to do that.
Oh, right.
Especially driving a state car. His bigger question is going to be, is he going to be able to keep his job
Right.
All right.
driving a state car and not acting responsibly?
I thought the bigger question is, did he get his order from McDonald's before driving off?
Well, that's another question.
Gotta get my
is
Mac-
why is he eating a meal at McDonald's?
Because he got kids and grandkids. He just picking up the
he's
chicken
got
nuggets
no
from
kids.
them.
No
right
kids. He's single.
Okay. So he's hungry.
So he's hungry. Where are we going on
You
that?
can't criticize him for getting McDonald's
From
if he
from
wants
former
to.
McDonald's employees. We have those questions sometimes.
All right. The other.
Although, as my brother Tom testified too some time back, that the new fresh meat quarter pounder is not a bad sandwich.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. I had one.
Yeah.
I'm not going back, but I had one.
All right. So it was it now 2 weeks ago that Holy Cross played the University of Iowa in women's basketball?
I think so.
Did they have fun playing against Caitlin and the top team in the nation?
They've gotten quite a lot of positive press
Yeah.
surrounding it, and
Excellent.
the website crashed during the game for a period of time, and that was awesome for my husband
Mm-hmm.
scrambling in the middle of the game to figure out how to get it back up. No, it was good. All positive energy. I think it was a well played game. I don't know if you guys watched. You probably didn't, but a lot of people did.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we did. But they gave a good fight, and
Yeah.
I can't figure out. Like Caitlin Clark had a very just a terrible attitude during the game, and I think maybe she just thought she was better than. Like this was
We're
just
just
a
gonna roll
fluff
over
game.
these,
You know, what are
guys.
you doing trying to play hard on me? We're gonna
Yeah.
beat you no matter what. So she
like-
just kind of came
yeah.
across in a negative light.
Treated it like a practice game.
Yeah, I just think she had a little bit of a cockiness, which she obviously can act however she wants. She's amazing. She's phenomenal. But it showed a side of her I didn't really enjoy.
Okay.
But
Now you follow this closely.
I do.
Enough. And what exactly is the skill that she has that differentiates her from your average college player? I mean, in terms of, some people are good distance shooters. Some people are good running, racing in
She's
the
got a
lane.
she's got a decent
Some people,
outside shot.
some people
Oh,
are just
yeah.
good at defense.
Yeah.
There's a whole variety of skills that are in the game. What's her strongest?
it's so funny. It's when you watch her, effortless. Like there's nothing that stands out about her physique. Even like my husband watching her against Angel Reese the other night.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she's
Another great college
incredibly
basketball player.
jacked. It's not like you see these
Well,
like
that's what I mean. I've seen
insane
pictures
leg
of her. She
muscles
looks
that
very average.
very average, long and lean, right? But she somehow can contort her body. Like if you watch her take a three and she does like a side step to the left, that's her signature shot. It's just I don't even know how she does it.
So it's Larry Bird
Think-
quality.
yeah,
It
think
is.
Larry Bird.
It's
Probably somebody who
effortless.
shoots 400,000 free
Yeah.
throws in their driveway.
But it's her timing too. Like you don't even notice, but it's so fast, but it looks slow motion because it's effortless, but it is fast reaction. Like we're constantly talking to our girls. Well, I mean, I used to coach my girls in basketball, but about like making fast decisions, fast reaction is so important. And that's when you're watching her, you can't even say that's what it is, but you know that's what she's doing because it doesn't even you don't even notice it.
As I've watched things like chess, I just wonder if she's already deciding the play
before.
as
Yeah.
she's coming away from the other side of the court,
The answer
where
is yes.
she's
Yeah.
already envisioned how things are going to play out just watching the other players go out
Well, that's
and down the court and saying, okay, I know this is, they know the play, certain plays, so they know this is going to go here, there, and everywhere, and I'm seeing these people in these spots, and so I'm going to do this, and boom, she scores.
Yes.
I think that's a very important point because if you watch the end of the LSU game in the press conference afterwards, the crazy cuckoo coach from LSU gave the best compliment to her, which was essentially she makes every player around her better because she can see everything. It's like Tom Brady when you're talking about
just
the
thinking
quarterback.
it's a Tom Brady,
you can
man.
look at everything. It's almost like she's above the court and she can see and manipulate everything because she's got as many stats for her own points as she does assists and rebounds. Like she's contributing everywhere, but other teammates around her also have 20 points, 25 points. It's not like it's all her putting
I
up
thought
the.
Tom Brady would make a great offensive
It's like the
coordinator.
difference between acting and reacting, where
100%.
she's planned it and she makes the move. It seems fast, but it's simply that
She already knew it.
she knows what she's going to do, while everybody else has to only react to what she does.
Yeah.
So she's always going to be that 6 inches different in space
Yeah.
Right.
from the other people
so-
in either passing a ball off or shooting.
If you're following this and you're going to be watching Friday night, Paige Becker is someone that I've just loved since she was a freshman at UConn, but had 2 serious injuries. But she and Caitlin Clark were very much compared day one coming into the college circuit. And to have them up against each other Friday night, I'm like a giddy schoolgirl. I can't wait. It's going to be
numbers
awesome.
have been off the charts.
They're insane. The boys' games aren't even selling out like the girls' games have been. I mean, time-wise,
It
they
should
do
be.
eventually
It
sell
should
out.
be,
But
yeah.
the price point for the tickets is as much as,
Yeah.
and that's just speaks volumes. It's very exciting for women's sports overall. I
And we
think.
got a note that was called in 766-1240 about Caitlin Clark. She's also a tremendous passer.
She is.
But
She's
again,
got this great little cut through the middle. It's
Yeah.
just
again, it's seeing the whole
Whole thing.
field. In
I know
front of
this
you,
person's going over
knowing-
there, so
Yeah.
I'm going to look this way, throw
Because
that
I
way.
mean,
Yeah.
when you think about some of the
Pass to the
plays
space.
that the
Right.
Celtics made when Bird was making these crazy passes
Right.
over his shoulder this way and
You
that
see
way
it
and the
all.
other way,
They
it's
were
like,
gonna be there.
well, all right, that just doesn't happen instantly.
Instantly.
I think you
They
have,
have
to
to
have a
know
gift to some degree.
long in advance that
Where
when
they're
they
gonna be.
see certain things happen, be here, do that, be ready, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Watch me. Otherwise, the ball
Right.
will just go flying off the
I
court.
mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot to be said for how you're coached. There's a lot to be said for your talent and ability and practice. But there's still I think there's an intangible quality that somebody has when they're that good. Like that they just process things differently
They
than
do.
other people.
And that's why I say comparing it to Bird,
Right.
which,
Oh.
but in Bird's case,
was
it
long
was
and lean,
in
too. He
Bird-
wasn't a
well,
big,
Yeah.
muscular guy.
He was a little. I think when I think of long and lean, I think of Kevin McHale.
Oh yeah,
Right,
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was skeletal,
Skeleton. That's a good word.
but he had this lean muscularity that worked very well for him. But like when you compare to Brady and Bird and Brady. I mean, Brady practiced
All the
off
time.
season all the time.
Insane.
He'd fly his players in, and they'd practice routes all winter. I mean, all summer, and they just kept going.
Yeah.
And Bird was the same way. Apparently you'd get to the garden, and he'd have been there for 3 hours already.
Shooting
Yeah.
free.
According to
free
a
throws.
listener, it's called court vision.
It is.
Court
Is,
vision.
is what,
Okay.
is what she has.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's something we didn't even
you
talk
have that
about.
or you don't have that.
But also the practicing enough and knowing the
Yes.
other players enough. They all have to know each other enough
Yes.
to know that they need to be in certain places so that when she's going to pass off, it's going to be a successful run into a game.
And you
into a
have
score.
all of those qualities, which are all because of the effort and the practice that she's been putting in. But then how do you account for the composure, like the stage at her age, to sit there and know everyone's watching, the pressure of that, and tune out all the noise and just put on a performance. It was phenomenal. And I already said I'm not a huge fan because of her attitude against Holy Cross and a few other games that I've seen. Take that aside, like she just put on an incredible show the other night, and you can't help but just, I don't know, appreciate it.
Break time once again here in Coffee and. So, Tim, time for your second message, please, from Navigant Credit Union.
Just simply a reminder, everybody, it's springtime, and you're starting to think probably about cleaning up yard, maybe making some changes to the house. Maybe you want to buy a new house. You want to move to someplace smaller or someplace bigger. Navigant Credit Union has a mortgage loan for all your borrowing needs, everything from basic fixed rate mortgages to adjustable rates to first time home buyers. We had a great first time home buyer seminar about a week ago at our place in Smithfield. I think there are probably like 20 or 30 young people who were there just getting ready to learn how to buy a house. What are the things I need to consider? Well, if you're going to have a lawn, you're going to need a lawnmower. So those are the types of things that we try to make you aware of when you buy that house. So if you have any questions about any of the mortgage products that we have, navigantcu.org is the website address that you can go to. Or if you want to give us a call and ask somebody a few more questions about it, then please do that at 233-4700. And we are always there to help.
All right, Tim, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. Please stay tuned.
One of our gold medal winners in the best of the Blackstone Valley is Marshan Environmental of Blackstone. They won gold in the category of septic service. They also won silver in the junk removal dumpsters category. For information, visit marshanenvironmental.com, one of the best of the Blackstone Valley.
The St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center presents the 14th annual Breakfast with the Saints on Sunday, April 28th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Enjoy a delicious breakfast buffet under the magnificent frescoes of the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door and are available at Belos Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware. Visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website, or to reserve a table, call 401-486-9380.
Okay, Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Melissa Smith, Tim Draper, and John Ward. And I've been asking this question this week of the panelists that are here. Are you excited, or is it a big ho-hum that the eclipse is coming next week? Are you doing anything with the residents?
It's so funny. This morning, I got up very early. I was scrolling through my phone, and I sent 3 ideas to our activities directors about doing something on Monday. But I'm hoping they're planning something because it is a
Okay.
big to-do, and I just told them to order some of those moon pies. Remember moon pies, the vintage little desserts?
I love
There's
those.
They
those-
I
still
love
sell
moon
them.
pies.
I found them online, so I sent it to them. I'm like, it'd be awesome if you guys were to, send
Pass
those
around the moon
out during
pies.
lunch, and then make the little viewer glasses that we used to make in school when there was
Yeah.
going to be an eclipse. So I don't know. I'm assuming we're doing something because I kind of poked at
Okay.
it this morning, but I did hear Warwick Schools is like closing early for it, which I
Oh, well,
think
that's not
is kind
necessary.
of ridiculous. I just saw the story this morning, and I'm like, I think that seems a little bit.
Unless
do you
they're worried
think
about
about
the
that,
kids
John?
all going like this. Oh,
Ooh, look at that.
I mean,
My first experience with a solar eclipse, my father brought home negatives from his dental office to look through.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's a
They
good way
weren't
of doing
making
it.
glasses. So
Is
they
that
had
like-
negatives?
Yeah.
that's
we-
allowed.
we
That
hold-
protected your.
It was
yeah?
sufficient, yeah.
Well, he's wearing glasses
For a brief
now,
for a
but-
brief view. Of course, this last week when my son was here, a couple of weeks ago, he went out to the store and came home and threw this package on the desk as he walked by, and it had the special viewing glasses for a solar eclipse. I thought,
I think we should do that at work.
what
I'm
is
gonna
this
do that.
excitement about?
I was laughing
The,
because it
the
said.
actually the interesting thing I saw on TV is apparently you can sign up to monitor wildlife during the eclipse just to
See their
record
reactions?
their reactions
Okay.
during the eclipse.
When it gets dark, yeah.
For I forget which science organization it is, but they are actually tracking. They're trying to compile information about various species and how they react in the during a solar eclipse, because obviously the darkening of the sky,
Yeah,
certain
middle of the
animals will
day.
come out of their burrows and they'll expect it's nighttime,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
It'll be
they have the
Right.
Dracula effect hits
Ah.
when the sun comes back.
Just
but-
for my own sense of comfort, you're implying that animals such as coyotes that typically come out at night may come out midday.
midday, just
Okay.
thinking that it's going to be that it's turned to night.
Right.
Certain birds
Skunks.
react a certain way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Raccoons.
So now I
there's-
wonder
I'm
if
trying to
Warwick
think if
schools-
I'm trying to think if it's the Smithsonian or if it's some science foundation or something where, and I've forgotten. I was on one of the Sunday morning shows was talking about how you can sign up to do this and volunteer.
That's
I think
pretty
it may be
cool.
too late by now because it's so close, but there are organizations that
My sister-in-law
monitor
will be
wildlife
in
during
the
that.
air, flying.
Which to me
When
is
it
more
happens?
During the eclipse.
see to me it's much more interesting
probably
to
best
see
view.
to
Yeah.
watch what wildlife does and to look at a
Yeah.
ball in the sky that
So,
has a dark shadow across it.
Potentially, I never would have connected the dots on that till you just said it, but maybe that's what Warwick Schools is thinking. Kids are getting out of school at the time that it's supposed to be passing over through this area. What is it, 1:45 or something? And it's
Somewhere in there, yeah.
from 1:45 to 4, somewhere in that window. So maybe it's a whole like walking home from school if the animals act weird in your neighborhood. I don't know.
It's not going to be that dark though.
Not for
around
us.
here.
I think
Up
it's
north
like
it
it's
is.
north and
Up-
west
up-
of
up
us.
and
I
west
think
of
it's
us,
gonna
up
be.
the Appalachian line,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Well, a Missouri couple is planning to celebrate their marriage during the solar eclipse. Nicolette Zangara and her husband Paul got married during the pandemic, but they weren't able to have their families there. So on the day of the total solar
playing
eclipse,
it
Eclipse of the heart.
they'll have a ceremony celebrating their matrimony in the path of totality. So there you go.
I mean, you have to assume they're going to be playing that song in the background.
Aren't they,
Yes.
There's a bunch of weddings taking place too. I think during
On
the
that day?
eclipse. Yeah, I thought I read that somewhere too.
All right. Well,
Totally eclipse of the heart. Oh my god. That's good.
the author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling, says free speech is at the end in Scotland. This week, that country passed the, quote, hate crime and public order bill, which says stirring up hatred against any of the protected groups covered by the bill is considered a crime, which includes transgender people. So Rowling then went on a social media tirade against transgender people and said, quote, freedom of speech and belief are at an end in the country of Scotland. She also taunted police and said she looks forward to being arrested when she returns to Scotland.
Well,
Wow.
The interesting thing is they can't, because I was watching a show and an attorney from Great Britain was talking about the fact that they can only arrest you for things that you say while within the borders of Scotland.
Okay.
So the fact that she's
So
out
we
of
can
the
make fun of
country at the
Scotland right
time-
now. We're okay.
The fact that she's out of the country at the time, she can say anything she wants, and they can't arrest her for that. But the minute she gets back to the country, I'm sure they'll be paying attention to what she has to say because, yes, speech is not something that's free anymore in Great Britain.
Oh, okay. Taylor Swift is on Forbes' World's Billionaire list. In case you haven't heard that, and you can't be surprised by that.
I thought she was already on it. But
She's at number 2,545 on this year's list.
there's
with-
2,000 billionaires?
I was just gonna say that.
around the world.
Frickin' pauper.
Holy crap.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's got $1.1 billion net worth. So there's more people with more net worth than her.
She
Right.
owns a lot of properties. Like I think that's probably a lot of her wealth is outlined
you have
in.
to, I mean,
she has
they're
like
good
4
advisors.
or 5 homes.
Well,
Well, they're saying
probably
it's
not like
most
she's got that in a
her
vault
most
somewhere.
valuable asset is probably her song collection. Really.
Well, that's what Forbes said. She's the first musician to make the ranks solely based on her songs and her
Songs,
performances, not on her
Oh wow.
real estate.
All right.
Her,
Because even the Beatles songs and Michael Jackson's work had huge values. And McCartney bought back the Beatles
I think he did.
catalog
Most of
at
it
some
anyway.
point.
Yeah.
And he paid a small fortune for it. That
Right.
stuff
her
was
fortune
expensive.
includes more than $500 million in estimated wealth from touring, royalties, and her music catalog on top of about $125 million in real estate.
Yeah.
So they do add it in, but most of it is from her music.
So I wonder why the Beatles would have sold their catalog in the first place.
Well, didn't Yoko
Did you
Ono?
not know it was that
It's like,
valuable?
probably like a divorce settlement. They were breaking up and they wanted to split the proceeds.
Enjoy the
the
money
value
while
of it.
they were
Maybe,
here. Yeah.
but wow.
I mean, they could have written contracts if they were smart and just held on to it for a long time.
Right. Put it in a trust or something, and everybody can take their piece of the action.
Well, didn't Yoko own
You know,
all of it? Didn't she
yesterday
the one
life
that
was
sold
such
it?
an
Maybe.
easy, yesterday life was such an easy game to play.
Oh, jeez.
We are on a roll today. Turn around.
It's a musical show.
It's gonna just be stuck with me all day now.
Sad story out of North Carolina. An actor says her dog was shot and killed by a delivery driver last weekend. Angie Harmon. I think I know.
Yeah,
dark
Angie
hair.
Harmon, sure, yeah.
She was on a detective type show.
Yeah.
What was that called?
Lauren, was she
NCIS.
Law
Law
and
and
Order?
Order? One of those.
One of the yeah.
She posted
The
on
female
social.
version of Starsky and Hutch.
She posted on social media that the man dropped off the delivery in Charlotte and then shot her dog, although her Ring doorbell camera wasn't recording anything because it was being charged. So
No,
there's
was
no
it?
video of it.
No, was it that the dog was trying to bite the guy and he shot it, or
Why
did
does
he
he have
just
a gun on
just
him when
I don't
he's
know.
making
Driving
a
by going,
delivery?
That's the better question.
Well,
is,
it's true.
is Melissa's, because the delivery is made through Instacart. She doesn't want to go get her own groceries, and they say Instacart doesn't allow their their drivers to carry weapons. So
Yeah.
even if they
Why
even
would
if
I
they're
have a more
licensed for
important
concealed
question?
and carry?
Somebody
Can't have it on the
somebody
job.
with the resources that Angie Harmon should have.
Why does she
Should
have
have
a
the
personal
Ring
Why
doorbell
does she have
wired
a
in your-
battery-powered ring camera?
I'm just thinking the same thing.
And why
is
doesn't
her
she have a
battery powered?
personal
I do
shopper?
because I don't want to have somebody digging through my house putting wiring into the thing. But
She can
her,
have.
come on.
It's the first thought that popped
Next,
in
you're
my
going
head
to
too
tell
is,
me
why
it's
is the
on a
battery
double wide.
She's living in a double wide with a Ring doorbell
Well, she hasn't
powered by
been-
battery.
She hasn't been in the TV show in a while, so maybe she is in the double wide. I don't have that information
Isn't
for
she
you,
married
John.
to a
Sorry.
football player? Why
She
like
used
a-
to be.
No, I don't know.
some extra hunky, big, muscular guy.
Mark Harmon? No. Is
No,
she
it's
related to
different
Mark
last
Harmon?
name.
He's married to Mindy.
Yeah, but is she related to Mark Harmon?
No, he has whoever the husband is a different last name. 'Cause she was established before. I can see him when he
I
was
know, I-
big and hunky.
Really,
Aren't
for a
they all?
football player?
Yeah, right. I know. Shocking.
Anything over there that's
Angie Harmon, American actress. Oh, Jason Sehorn.
that's
Oh,
an
there we go.
actor,
But
right?
she's
Oh, no,
divorced.
he's a-
No, he's a football player for
Oh, okay.
Seattle, I think, wasn't it?
But they're divorced now.
They're divorced, yeah.
Oh.
2016. Oh no, and he played for.
Oh, never
What,
mind.
the
I thought there's
quarterback?
why is everybody divorced? It's just oh,
Well,
often.
in case you're
Giants.
wondering,
Giants.
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 Okay.
The Giants. I
in
hate
case you're wondering, pharmacists are struggling to fill Adderall prescriptions across the United States. There's a shortage. According to a CNN analysis, the country's ongoing drug shortage is to blame. But 1 in every 10 people who use Adderall or similar combination drugs to treat ADHD have been affected. The health data platform, Truveta, collected data showing there's been a dramatic drop-off in fill rates since the FDA announced an Adderall shortage back in October of 2022. The average monthly prescription fill rate was 11% lower in the first half of last year than it was in the first half of 2022. Comes as there's been a surge in demand for prescriptions to treat ADHD since the COVID-19 pandemic, especially among young adults and women.
Yeah.
Doctor tried to put my son on Adderall. We said no. Absolutely not. No way.
Before we even had the recommendation made, the answer to the doctor was,
No.
no, we're not medicating our kid.
Yeah, there's no.
Send him outside to play. Burn it off.
He grew out of it.
Yeah.
So we were fine. So, alrighty. So,
I don't get it. Never mind. Move on. I don't want
okay, we'll move on.
If I get into that, I'll say something I shouldn't.
I just remember saying, I said, I go, it's an upper. How's it supposed to bring him down? Yeah, it works backwards in kids. I'm like, it does? No. We like his personality the way it is. We didn't want to change it. So there we
Come
go.
on. Yeah, just,
He's a
play,
basketball.
play soccer.
There you go.
Get a basketball hoop.
Go run around. All right, we're done with the show for today. Thanks for listening in. Enjoy the eclipse, everybody.
Thank
No.
you.
Tim Draper, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks everybody for being here.
All right, and Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in.
Nice to be back. Good to see you all.
Yep, and John Ward.
Enjoy this fine spring weather and enjoy the God-given day.
Get out there in Hamlet Avenue, Will, and say, hey,
And,
where are you guys?
I'll be cruising the neighborhoods to see what see how the water treatment plant destruction is going and how Roy Avenue water office is going. And
All right.
in order to get there, I'll go down Hamlet Avenue. Yesterday and the day before, there was nothing.
Okay. This is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great day, and stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew with Do You Remember? It's coming your way at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Massachusetts residents are being warned by state wildlife experts to keep away from wild turkeys. It's